In a little bit more than a year, the PGA Championship is coming back to Quail Hollow Club in Charlotte. Jason Soucy is the championship director. That's a fancy title. That's a lot of pressure on you. Justin Thomas was our winner in the heat of August of 2017. I was there for that. I still don't know why Jason Day decided to hit it into those bushes to the right of 18. He's my guy. All right, so have preparations already begun for next May?
Yeah, no, in reality, I actually moved down to Charlotte full-time last March.
Just for this?
Just for this. So we've got a full year under our belt already with 382 days still to go. So it's one of those things people are always like, what do you do? Like, why are you there so long? Like you would think, yeah, we put 156 of the best players in the world out there and tee it up and they go. But you've been to Quail Hollow Club. The difference between hosting a major championship at these historic venues, they weren't designed in mind of getting 40,000 people in and out of there effectively and safely. So we need to make sure we come in early, meet with the city officials, work with all of the local agencies to make sure we can get fans in and out of that facility as easily as possible. And that's really what we spend the initial part of this process. It's all outside the ropes.
Right.
Inside the ropes, my chief championships director, he worries about that. I'm the outside the ropes guy. He's the inside the ropes
So you
guy.
don't set the pins?
No.
That's not.
There's actually, the funny you should mention that, there's really been one person. I've been doing this for 25 years, various tours all around the country. PGA of America, for our major championships, for every Ryder Cup, PGA champ, senior champ, or women's.
Just Gary Haig?
Just Gary Haig.
That's it.
Since 1980.
What a power trip.
Since late 80s. I think late 80s, like 89, maybe in that realm, So he's obviously so well respected throughout the game. I think I'm a little biased, but I always think of the four majors, I always think our setups are the most fair and exciting of the majors. You can kind of get out there. Like, I think Kerry is what he does, to your point, is like we all just sort of sit back and let him. He's like, that is not something I have to worry about. I know that part of the competition is going to take care of itself. We're going to have excitement. We're going to have drama. And all you have to do is look at our past PGA Championships, 2017 notwithstanding, the excitement that happens on Sunday going around that green mile, JT hitting that 8-iron on 17. So my hope is I need to do my job outside the ropes, and I'm pretty sure next May, inside the ropes will take care of itself.
Yeah, that was fun. Kevin Kisner was in it. Jason Day was in it really until Saturday. Until I don't know what he was doing on that. I was a huge. I love Jason Day.
Well, that's probably been the most recent stretch of golf that with anything close to what Scotty Scheffler is doing right now.
I was going to ask who's going to finish second.
Jason Day in that period, because like he was. Who's
finishing second to Scotty Scheffler, Jason? That's what I need to know.
Well, I mean, Scotty does have a life event coming up here, and we all, we'll have to see. Like
everything does change when the first child comes.
I think all the other players are probably hoping that Scotty wants to be they want him to be the number one dad in the world instead of the number one player in the world. So it's impressive. I worked with IMG back in Tiger's heyday, so we haven't, other than the little stretch that Jason had, the stretch maybe VJ had. Other than Tiger, there hasn't been dominance out there like this.
No, we're entering Scotty versus the field territory. And we really are. I mean, statistically speaking, in the performance, he's won, 5 of his last 6 events.
Yeah, which is incredible to think
Very
of.
Nelly Korda-like, by the way.
The fact that it's like there's a little bit of a mind meld going on where they're doing it at the same time, right?
Yeah.
They've got their own little competition going on. Yeah, I mean, for me, one of the reasons I'm excited as a championship director is we can't really control what goes on inside the ropes, but for the last, decade, what's been going on with professional golf has been so amazing because there's just been such a depth. You never really know who's there's such an argument of like, who is the best player in the world? Who is?
No, we know.
And now it's like, in just a short amount of time, it's been pretty apparent that here's this guy who's been the best player for well over a year, but for some reason just hadn't really had that multiple major thing happen. Now that he's got this second major, it's kind of scary to think where it could go.
All right, I'm going to give people some hope. Scotty Scheffler has never won a tournament after April in a given year.
I feel like I do. I have seen that. I have seen that, and it's because it's so bizarre because he does win on all different kinds of golf.
Yep.
Because like there is some of that. Sometimes there's a player who's like course for horse, right? Like you never know where it's going to be. But Scotty, he wins at all different variety of courses. So it is strange that the year thing happens.
2 Masters, 2 Players Championships, 2 Arnold Palmer Invitationals. I mean, his
thing is you could just never count him out, though, because despite not winning, he's somehow finishing top 5 at just about every time he tees it up, right?
Every other event. All right, but Jason Soucy, championship director for the PGA Championship, coming up next May to Quail Hollow Club. So infrastructure is really what you're talking about here. When, how, walk me through not the planning stages, because you're, I'm sure, well beyond the planning stages. But so from right now until next May, give me a little bit of a rough timeline. When structures go up, merchandising, when can people start buying? You have a 2025 PGA Championship quarter zip already. It looks very nice. So all of this stuff, walk me through it.
I might have one in my bag for you if that's all right.
I'll take it. It's fine. I was not asking, but if you've got one, I'll take it.
No, I think that so for us, to your point, we're well underway hospitality sales. One of the reasons why we're back at Charlotte is the Carolinas was an incredible host for the PGA Championship in 2017. We had our most successful hospitality sales venture. You would think we've been in lots of different markets.
We do love our golf here.
I was just going to say, Carolinas is such a hotbed for golf. There's so many amazing
We got a
courses,
little thing
tournaments.
coming up in a couple of months here.
Exactly. Like with Pinehurst, what they've been able to develop down there over the years, obviously it's from an East Coast perspective, there's no other place you would think of if you're going to do a boys weekend away for golf, that it's pretty much starts at Pinehurst and then move on to option 2. And then just overall championship courses. So we were incredibly successful, great hospitality program, great ticket sales, everything, the way everybody got behind it. Right. So for us, we're focused on trying to replicate that as best as we can. One of the things that has changed since 2017 is we're offering what's called a Championship Plus ticket, where any tickets that we sell for the PGA Championship next May will be inclusive of complimentary concessions. So you buy your ticket in advance, you're at a major championship, you're not going in your wallet. Anytime you stop at a concession, anything non-alcoholic beverages, food is going to be complimentary each time you go back.
Really?
There. Just again to help it maybe feel a little bit more elevated out there. Alcohol is additional.
Sure.
Hospitality is usually inclusive, but that's sort of like the 2 different tiers there. But from our perspective, that's exciting because our tickets typically sell out, 8 to 10 months in advance. Mm-hmm. So for us, that's why we're out here talking now, because we have a free, no obligation ticket registration program. So if you want to come to the major championship next year, get on pgachampionship.com/2025. Register for tickets. That'll allow you we'll start contacting you once tickets go on sale this summer, allow you to make your decision of what you might want to buy.
Okay, cool.
Competition rounds are essentially probably going to sell out to those only registered. Usually we might sell 80% of total tickets to the registration program.
Okay.
So from my perspective, that's why we're trying to communicate that now, since, for planners, want to start planning. What's great about Charlotte is you don't necessarily need to be a golf fan to come enjoy a major championship in Charlotte, because there's so many other things. There's the hotels, the restaurants, all that. That's one of the reasons it was so successful in 2017 is we had corporate partners that could be like, I might have a guest who's a huge golf fan, but they can bring their spouse, their
Charlotte's
kids.
an awesome town.
And speaking of the kids, we still, even though it is a major championship, any ticketed guest can bring 2 children 15 and under complimentary as well.
Really?
So that's a nice family-friendly atmosphere.
My son will not be 15 next. He'll be 16. That's fine.
I don't know if we check IDs at the door. We'll have to see. But I think that hopefully is another great way to say, hey, we want to make sure the Carolinas can really take advantage. There's only been one major championship in Charlotte in history. Obviously Pinehurst has their history. Kiowa just got announced to have the PGA Championship in South Carolina. So there are major championship venues that are hosting events, but it's kind of surprising to me that Charlotte's only had that one time when we were here in 2017.
Yeah, it is. It is amazing, but it's a great venue. It's a big ballpark, and you guys moved around a lot of people pretty well. So
yeah, it's one of the reasons why they have an annual tour event there is it sets up remarkably well for championship golf. Like I was saying, a lot of these classic Donald Ross, Tillinghast courses, were not designed to host 40,000 people a day. Quail Hollow Club with the Green Mile, May, to your point about we were here in August last time. I'm excited because there's no better.
It might be cool.
There's no better time. I mean, I was at the Wells Fargo Championship last year. The weather was phenomenal. The atmosphere, you can be like, oh, if we can ramp this up with a major championship crowd, it's going to be really hard to beat. So from my perspective, that's just such a great time of year to have the event.
Jason Soucy, the website again, pgachampionship.com/2025.
And if you just get to pgachampionship.com, I'm sure you can navigate to 2025, and we'll have ticket registration, volunteer registration, because we're going to need over 3,000 volunteers. So just a great way to inform the public.
Excellent. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.